If you want to shift into your dream reality, you need to embody the version of you who is already living that reality, the version of you who knows it is real, the version of you who always knew and acted as if it was possible. You need complete faith in that dream reality. But what if you're constantly doubting your dreams and questioning whether they're even a possibility for you? If this is something you've been struggling with and it's been preventing you from embodying that future version of yourself, then keep watching because we're going to kill that doubt. My name's Georgia. I have a master's degree in consciousness, spirituality and transpersonal psychology, and in my free time I love to research manifestation and the science behind shifting your reality. Now today's video is for anyone who is struggling with doubt when it comes to manifesting. If we want to shift our lives, then we must learn to address our doubts, because the most powerful shifts happen when we exist in a state of certainty. So if you want my top 4 tips about how to deal with doubt and manifest despite it, then keep watching. My first tip is to accept that some level of doubt is natural, maybe even inevitable. If you have unrealistic expectations, like that you can never experience any doubtful thoughts, then this is only going to send you into a spiral. We get thousands of thoughts every day, and most of those thoughts are repeated thoughts. We think them over and over again every day, and often those thoughts do reflect some of our subconscious beliefs. But that isn't always the case. We do also just get random thoughts that don't reflect anything deeper and that really don't hold any power. And the reason those random thoughts don't hold any power is because no single thought becomes manifest. Now, this is just common sense. If we just think about this, you can think of anything. I could think of a dinosaur right now, and that isn't going to suddenly become manifest. So a couple of doubtful thoughts every now and then isn't going to be a problem. What's actually important when it comes to manifestation is not any single thought that comes up. What's important is your predominant state of being. Now, this includes not just your thoughts, and I mean your overall thoughts, not any single thought, as well as your feelings and your beliefs. We want that overall state of being to be in a state of certainty, to be in a state where you believe that that dream reality is possible, and to be in a state where you are embodying the reality of that dream. Doubtful thoughts will only become a problem if they reflect the fact that your predominant state of being is one of doubt. You need to think of it like tipping a scale. We want to make sure that that scale is tipped on the side of certainty, of faith, as opposed to doubt. So you want to be over 50% in a state of certainty. For example, when I was doing my bachelor's degree in law, there became an opportunity to do a year abroad in California. Now, for years I had wanted to get to California, so this was a miraculous opportunity for me, which I obviously applied to. And through that state of applying, and even before this became an opportunity, because this was something I wanted to experience anyway, I existed in this state where I knew that somehow I was going to get to California. I had the utmost faith that it was going to happen, and I had no idea how it was going to happen, because when I first decided to do my law degree at the university I chose, it wasn't actually an option to go to California. And yet I still had this belief for years that I was going to get to California somehow. And eventually the opportunity came up, I applied for the opportunity, and of course I had to go through this painful period of waiting to see if I had got it. And every now and then I did have a couple of doubts that would come up, like for example the fact that there were other people on my course that I knew had applied who were incredibly intelligent, which was obviously quite threatening when I wanted this place so much. And yet, even though I would sometimes have these little doubts, my predominant state of being was still one of certainty. So even though these little doubts would come up every now and then, they didn't tip my state of being to be in a predominant state of doubt. They just came up every now and then, and I just let them go. And it all worked out for me, because I got that place and I ended up being the first person on that course to do a year abroad in California. And so if you are also trying to manifest something and you keep having doubts come up every now and then what I would suggest to you, first of all, simply to observe the thoughts when they come up and let them go. Like you would be taught to do in meditation. Just imagine that they're like clouds drifting through the sky, and all you do is notice them and then just let them go. Don't attach to them, don't keep thinking about them, don't worry about the fact that you've had a doubtful thought. It doesn't matter, just learn to let them go. The more you try to resist those thoughts, the more that they will persist. So all you need to do is let them go, and then they will not have any effect on your reality. Now, the second step is to implant the correct beliefs into your subconscious. Now, this one is specifically for the case where these doubtful thoughts that you're having are reflective of something deeper. They might be reflecting the fact that you do actually have some subconscious belief that is in conflict with the reality that you're trying to manifest. If this is the case, then just letting go of those doubtful thoughts isn't going to be enough. We need to actually go deeper and rewire our subconscious. So, for example, let's think back to the California example that I just gave you. In my case, my predominant state of being was one of certainty, so I know I didn't have any subconscious beliefs that were conflicting with that desire. But that very easily could have been the case. I could have thought that I wasn't worthy of having that opportunity, or believed that I wasn't intelligent enough to beat the other people who were trying to get that place as well. And while I was lucky enough that in that case I didn't have those conflicting subconscious beliefs, there are definitely other areas in my life where I have had those kind of beliefs and either have had to or still need to rewire them. And the way we can see if we've got some subconscious beliefs that are conflicting with our desires is, first of all, if we do have doubtful thoughts coming up that are more than just a fleeting random thought every now and then, and they seem more like a persistent thought pattern. And also we can just look to our reality, because our reality tends to be a reflection of our subconscious beliefs. So if your reality is the opposite of what you want to experience, then that is likely an indication that there are some subconscious beliefs going on that are sabotaging what you want to attract into your life. Think of it like planting a seed. So when that seed is planted and under the soil, you obviously can't see it. There's no way to see what that seed is. But as soon as that seed grows into a plant, and we can see what that plant is, then suddenly we can actually determine what the seed was that was planted in the first place. It's the same with your life too. You can't consciously access your subconscious to see what beliefs are residing in there, but you can look at your actual life around you, and that can give you an indication of what beliefs are planted into your subconscious mind. So if you are experiencing a high level of doubt and you're not seeing results, then it's likely that you do have some subconscious belief that is not in alignment with that desired reality. And so we need to go in and rewire that conflicting belief. If you want to try and grow a new plant, for example, you wouldn't try and manipulate that plant that has already grown. Instead, you would go and plant a new seed. So we're going to do the same thing. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can reprogram your subconscious. One of the more obvious ones is affirmations. Now, affirmations work because they help to reprogram your mind. Specifically, you can rewire your neural pathways. The only issue with affirmations when you're doing them consciously is that it's going to take a lot of repetition to do that rewiring. There are a couple of other things we can do to make affirmations more effective. First thing is to use them during meditation. If you can get yourself into a meditative state, which is where you get down into the theta brainwaves, then that actually gives you access to your subconscious. So if you get down into that state and then do your affirmations, then they're going to penetrate your subconscious mind so much more effectively than they would if you just do it in a normal conscious waking state. Another thing you can do is make a recording of your affirmations and play them as you fall asleep and then sleep. Again, this is because as we fall asleep, we go through these different brainwave states. Specifically, as we're falling asleep, we go through the theta brainwave state, and again, that gives you direct access to your subconscious. Now, another thing you can do is use subliminals. Now, this is something that I've actually just started to use myself, so I can't say for 100% certainty that they work, although I've heard lots of amazing things about them, so I assume they do. Subliminals, again, are also used to rewire your neural pathways, and what they are is, it's basically a track of affirmations, but the affirmations are put down to a volume level where you can't actually consciously hear them. And the idea behind this is that subliminal stimuli are supposed to enter your subconscious, and they're supposed to be more effective than things that you can consciously hear, because when you can consciously hear something, then these counter control mechanisms come in and start scrutinizing the affirmations, and so that can kind of act like a barrier to them. But when they are below the conscious threshold, then they can go straight into your subconscious without your conscious mind fighting them. So if you wire in a set of beliefs that are conducive to the life that you're trying to manifest, then this is also going to rewire your predominant thought patterns, and you're going to notice that less of those doubts are going to start coming up. My third tip is to seek evidence. Seek evidence to back up the fact that that reality you're trying to manifest is possible, both for you and in general. Oftentimes the reason we doubt something is because we have a lack of belief in it. But oftentimes you need to build that belief yourself. It probably won't just come naturally. And that is especially the case if what you're trying to manifest feels unnatural to you. Maybe it's something that you've never experienced in life, or something that no one around you has experienced in life. For example, maybe you want to manifest a lot of money, but money isn't something that's been readily available to you in your life. You've lived a life where you've experienced scarcity, where money is seen as a scarce resource. Then suddenly going from that to trying to manifest money is going to feel unnatural to you. It's not something that you're used to. It's not something that feels safe to your nervous system. And so it's not going to be a belief that comes naturally to you. It's a belief that you need to build. And in addition to reprogramming your subconscious mind, another thing you can do is seek out evidence so that you can build up that belief. And I would suggest that you do this in 2 domains. The first is to seek evidence for yourself, evidence that this is something that you can achieve. So what I would suggest you do is make a list of all of the reasons why you can achieve that thing that you're trying to manifest. So be really thoughtful about this and be really genuine about all of the reasons that you can achieve that thing. And you could even, when you've got this list, you could turn it into affirmations yourself, so that you're not even just listening to some more generic affirmations. These could be really personalized affirmations to you. And if these are things that you've really thought about and you really believe yourself, then that's going to make them even more powerful when it comes to implanting these beliefs into your subconscious. And the other evidence that I would suggest you seek is of others who have already achieved the thing that you're trying to manifest. So look for as many success stories as you can. We have a type of neuron in our brain called mirror neurons, which activate not only when we do something, but they also activate when we see someone else doing something. So when you're watching other people's success stories, you're actually still activating the neural pathways, and you're basically helping prepare your brain for having that experience yourself. And of course, if you see other people having success in what you're trying to achieve, then you'll know that it is possible, which is going to help inspire you, and it's going to help motivate you to take action. And of course, part of manifestation is taking action. It's not just sitting around and wishing for it. You actually need to take the steps to achieve that thing, specifically inspired action. And inspired action is going to come to you much easier when you do feel inspired. So make sure you are constantly seeking evidence to back up the fact that your dream reality is a possibility. My 4th and final tip is to surrender more. As much as I love manifestation, I also believe it's important to balance it out with surrender. Manifestation is to an extent about control. You do have to let go, so you have to relinquish some control in that sense, but manifestation is about selecting a desired outcome. So in that sense, it does have this element of trying to control reality. Now, because of that, you can end up pigeonholing yourself into a very specific goal or very specific way that you want your life to look. And the thing is, the more that you try to control reality and control life, the more opportunity you give to start noticing all of the ways in which something is going wrong. Because if you have a very specific vision for something, if you have very specific scripts in your head for how life is meant to go, then you're going to notice all of the times when life isn't following that script. You're basically opening the door for more and more doubts to come up. So I would suggest that you learn to let go, which you already have to do when it comes to manifestation anyway. That is already a part of it. But I would say take it a step further and try and be a lot more flexible when it comes to your goals as well. I still think it's great to have specific things that you want to manifest, but don't become so fixated on them that you can't accept any other form that manifestation could come to you. Focus on feeling good instead, because then that allows things to come to you in the best way possible. And if you're focused on feeling good instead of things coming to you in a very specific way, then you also reduce the opportunity for doubts to come up. Now, if you want to learn more about detachment, which is a crucial aspect of manifestation, you can watch this video here. I'm wishing you the best of luck in killing your doubts and manifesting your dream life. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in the next one.